What's up, Sanctum? Brimo here, and I'm holding on to Bella real tight because I suggest you hold on to something real tight. We're about to blow your mind. So the title of this video is called, Does God Still Love Me as LGBT? Well, the short answer is, of course he does. Why would God create us and then decide he doesn't want us anymore, so he just goes and throws us into hell? It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. I'm going to show you in the Bible, right here, in Romans 8, verses 38 and 39. For I am convinced that neither death nor life, neither angels nor demons, neither the present nor the future, nor any powers, neither height nor depth, nor anything else in all creation will be able to separate us from the love of God that is in Jesus Christ our Lord. Nothing can separate us from the love of God. So yes, God still loves you as LGBT. Homosexuality is not a sin. How do I know this? Well, God is love. Therefore, God intended us to love one another and to have loving relationships. So if one person of one gender loves another person of the same gender, then why would that be a sin? There is love in that relationship, therefore God is there as well. God is love. If God did not want the LGBT community to be about, we would all be straight. We would all not be different. We would be exactly the same. Obviously, he didn't want that. You may have heard that homosexuality is not natural. That in itself is false, because we see in nature every single day that some species of animals actually have same-sex relationships. And some of them actually mate for life. So just because we are human and supposedly our brains are, more advanced than some of these animal species, we still cannot change what is deeply engraved into our DNA. It is natural. It's just as natural to be gay as it is to be straight. So some of us may have heard the term pray the gay away. Well, I can vouch for you and say that that does not work. I tried many times years ago before I was able to accept myself, and really all that did was made me feel depressed and ashamed of who I was. God created me to be this way, and if he hadn't, first of all, I would not have been born this way. Secondly, praying the gay away would have worked. And it wasn't because I wasn't praying hard enough or anything like that. It was because God created me to be this way. And just because your church that you go to may not accept you right now, or maybe ever, it doesn't mean that God doesn't accept you. We have to remember that imperfect people worshiping a perfect God are the ones that run churches. People make mistakes. And what a lot of churches are doing are just making all these rules and regulations for us to follow, when the biggest commandment that God gave us was to love. Jesus said it himself in the New Testament. And by bashing and bullying and trying to change someone, that's not love. Speaking of church, I bet your church never told you about the possible homosexual relationships in the Bible. That's right, some scholars believe that there were actual homosexuals in the Bible. Look at David and Jonathan, Ruth and Naomi, even Daniel. I've got a verse for you right here talking about David and Jonathan. It's in 1 Samuel chapter 20, verses 41 through 42. After the boy had gone, David got up from the south side of the stone and bowed down before Jonathan 3 times, with his face to the ground. Then they kissed each other and wept together, but David wept the most. Jonathan said to David, "Go in peace, for we have sworn friendship with each other in the name of the Lord, saying, 'The Lord is witness between you and me, and between your descendants and my descendants forever.'" Then David left, and Jonathan went back to the town. I mean, if that doesn't sound like a declaration of love, then I don't know what does. Going into declaring one's love for another, I myself am actually married to a wonderful woman. I love her dearly, and I prayed for her to come into my life. For over 2 years, I prayed for her to come into my life, and just when I was about to give up on hope, she came. Well, we eloped, and while we were having our private ceremony there on the Riverwalk in San Antonio, there were these 2 female ducks that were there the entire time kind of watching what was going on. And it was really cute because when the pastor announced us, you know, bride and bride, you may kiss, they started quacking. And it was like they were encouraging us and like they were happy for us. And to us, it was just like a symbol of God saying that we were meant to be together and that He blessed our marriage. So it's a memory that we really cherish and that we love talking about and looking back on. I know I threw a lot of information at you, and it makes sense that it's going to take a while for you to wrap your head around all of these ideas and to really accept them for yourself. It took me a long time to really be comfortable with myself and comfortable with God, knowing that He wasn't going to punish me or send me to hell because of being who He created me to be. So what I suggest you do is just do a lot of research. That's what I did, and it helped me out a lot. One thing I want you guys to do is to look at this book. It is called What the Bible Really Says About Homosexuality. And it really dissects those verses that people like to throw at us for being gay. And it talks about what the Bible was saying at that time and what it means to us now. Another book that I would suggest reading is by our pastor. Her name is Sandra Turnbull, and it's called God's Gay Agenda. This one is really good because it talks about that God has a plan for us, the LGBT community. And there's a verse in the Bible where she believes Jesus was actually talking about the modern day homosexual. So I suggest you read those. Also, I watched documentaries. And one of the documentaries that I watched that had the most impact on me was called For the Bible Tells Me So. It's on Netflix. They stream it all the time. And if not, you can get the DVD in the mail. So watch it, do as much research as you can, and just let yourself be you. One of the best things that you can do is to just open yourself up to God and just start praying about it. You know, maybe you're not comfortable with who you are because your church has told you that there's something wrong with you, that you're a sinner and that you're going to go to hell for loving someone. You need to open yourself up to God and let Him be the one to tell you something. I know when I was going through all of that stuff with coming out and accepting myself and wondering if God still loved me, I prayed, and I can't tell you how much that helped. It makes you feel so much better to really let go of all these fears and these concerns that you may have based on what people are telling you. Don't listen to people, look to God. That's one of the best things that you can do. That's all I've got for today, guys. So if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe to the channel. Also, share it with someone who may be struggling with this as well. I know when I was struggling with the idea of God still accepting me, it was really tough not to have someone there to help me out. Luckily, I was able to find people after I came out and I was vocal about it. So I know how much it can help to really connect with other LGBT and ones that are already accepting of themselves and Christian. So share this video, help others out, and hit us up. See you later.